60 is here. And nothing's been achieved.
Don't get caught in the cycle. Take your first step to a secured financial future with Petra. Call Petra today for your free advisory session on 024 243 5037. Petra, achieve more.
We wake up and we are young. We have time. We say. Then, here comes the 20s and the 30s. We are married, baby number 1 arrives, and 2, oh no, nothing safe, still struggling hand to mouth. And then, one day we wake up and 60 is here. And nothing's been achieved.
Don't get caught in the cycle. Take your first step to a secured financial future with Petra. Call Petra today for your free advisory session on 024 243 5037. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they're the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they're the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers, or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they're the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers, or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Hello, it's an amazing day and I'm super excited to be alive. I don't know about you, but I believe that once there is life, there is hope. But hope without works is certainly dead. And that's why we need to plan every single stage of our lives, especially with our finances. Now, talk of finances. It doesn't really matter how much you've saved or how much you've not saved. All that matters is that you make the effort to plan. And that's why Petra is here to help you achieve more. Now, Petra has been in the business of pensions for about 10 years. We're actually celebrating our anniversary, and regulated by the National Pensions and Regulatory Authority, NPRA. Petra has a wide range of products and services in the form of pensions to help you plan your retirement, what have you, just for you. My name is Carly Metal Tutu. I'm going to be your moderator for this webinar session on financial planning. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with some amazing and energetic, young people who are staff of Petra. Very soon, I'm going to introduce them to you. And we're coming to you live from the Petra Old Nexus office here in Accra, Ghana. It's going to be an amazing session, and I'm glad that all of you have joined us here today. Okay, so now, if our capacity gets full at any point in time, you join in at any point in time, just know that we are also live on our social media handles, Petra on social, that's on YouTube and also on Facebook. But if you're not able to get access to any of these platforms, please make sure that you download the Petra Achieve app. And that app is available on Play Store as well as the Apple iStore. Do get in touch, participate, and have a good time with us. Thank you very much. We'll go for a quick break, and then I will introduce our panelists for today to you. Thank you.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they're the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
All right, thank you for staying with us. My name once again is Kali Metal Tutu. I'm your moderator for this session on personal financial planning. All right, so I mentioned earlier that I have a wonderful panelist with me here. I remember our first webinar session, we were joined by, is it Kennedy? And then Tenny, yes. And today I have with me, to my immediate right, a very vibrant, energetic young man. I met him yesterday and I just fell in love with him.
Safon is my name, and I lead the business development team at Petra. I'm pleased to be here.
Wow, so you're the one bringing in all the cash, eh?
We try, and beyond that, we try to help individuals to create financial, freedom for themselves as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then I'll be your friend after this.
You are most welcome.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Sure. And now to Stephen's immediate right is a very lovely lady, and she is in the person of
Judy Chinnery, and I lead the customer experience team here at Petra.
Wow.
So I'm responsible for putting smiles on the faces of our customers.
I mean, it's very obvious by your look. Anyway, so when he brings in the customers, you try and manage them, make sure that all is well with them.
Yes, and they are happy to be with us.
Definitely. Thank you so much. All right, so you guys are pretty young. What's the secret with Petra and, young, energetic colleagues?
That's an interesting question.
Or next time we should bring an HR personnel to answer that.
Definitely.
I think as an organization, it's a mix. Maybe it's the ones that you are seeing that probably makes you believe, but it's a mix. And I think also the company gives room for young people to exhibit their capabilities and abilities. And so once you have what it takes, the company will give you the opportunity. It's not always about age, but what you can offer. And for us, we do that without any fear or favor.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Great. All right. So before we even delve into the topic, I'd like to run us through a few housekeeping rules just to have a seamless flow of this webinar session. First of all, I'd like to welcome you again, our participants. Thank you. You could have been in a million other places, but you're here with us just to learn more about personal financial planning. So I'll start by saying that if you notice on the console, all microphones have been muted. And for that matter, if you should have any question, query, or comment, please do well to leave them in the comment box at the bottom, and they will be attended to in due time. And as well, if you have any information to share with us, please do same. At the right time when we open up for Q&A, you can press the raise your hand button at the bottom as well, and you will be attended to. We also have a survey that will need you to kindly complete so that we can have your feedback, and then going forward we can improve on our service delivery to you. I mean, as Madam Customer Experience is here, it's very important. And then also for Stephen, who is the head of business development, we need to know what to do to serve you better and help you achieve more, as Petra would say. All right, so now we're going to move or delve straight into our webinar topic for the day, and it's all about personal financial planning. Now, when we talk about personal financial planning, I know that when we are kids, we start doing susu and stuff, but when it's Christmas, you usually break up your books and then voila, you buy your toffees, your balloons, your knockouts. This has been the practice. And one day you wake up and you are 60, just as the ad said, and you're like, ooh, where was I? What happened? What do I have? Okay, so we'll ask ourselves a few questions, such as setting a plan that works for you. We have to look at that because there are different plans and we have to know what works for us. Setting an emergency fund, planning for retirement, and what have you. So many other things to look out for. So I'll start with Judith, what at all is financial planning if we talk about financial planning?
So the name sounds big, but in simple terms, financial planning is basically the process you go through to identify your goals, allocate timelines for achieving those goals, and then identify the ways through which you can fund the goals in order to achieve them. In identifying your goals, I think for most financial plans that we've created, common amongst them for the working force in Ghana is a desire to own a home, to buy a house, further education, take care of children comfortably, retire with financial security, among other things. So when you come to us to help you create a financial plan, this is the process we'll go through. In doing this process, you realize that as an individual, you stand to get the benefit of gaining clarity on what you want to achieve in life and defining the lifestyle that you want to enjoy at retirement. Yes. So part of our process would also, like I mentioned earlier, will identify your sources of funding. And by this, you're going to look at, if you're a salaried worker, you earn regular income, you're going to look at how much comes in on a monthly basis. We'll also juxtapose that with your expenses, what you spend that money on. And if you have savings, that would also come into play. If you're a Christian and you tithe, that comes into play. We'll list all of these items. We'll also look at items that you own that helps you generate other income. For example, investments. If you have other small businesses on the side that generate income, would assess all of it and develop a comprehensive plan that would you benefit from eventually. Having a financial plan is very, very important because it helps you to get ready to face some of life's unexpected challenges that may come your way, like the loss of a loved one, for instance, the loss of a job. I mean, we've seen COVID happen, unexpected events like COVID happen, and you see what the effect is. But when you have a financial plan, you realize that you're better positioned to face COVID and still smile because you have financial security. So that's basically it about financial planning.
So from what you said, I deduce that financial planning has several dynamics. I mean,
yes,
it differs from person to person. I mean, if you have a flexible income or a fixed income, I see.
It varies from every individual. So typically you have to speak to an expert who will guide you through the process to develop a plan that's specific and unique to your needs and the future that you want to have.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's really deep. Okay, so Stephen, back on the importance of financial planning, how important or how vital is it for one to clearly define the goals of financial? Judith talked about the goals. How important is it for you to clearly define those goals?
I think for every individual, financial planning is a critical part of everybody's life. It is so because of three key things which I have, termed as SSB. The first one is spending. Every individual, one way or the other, you will spend. And for that reason, you need a certain plan to guide you on how your expenditure should be like. So you don't just spend because you have to spend. The other S that you look at is save. one way or the other, you have to put some money aside for tomorrow. And so where you put it and what you get out of it is also key and important. And so with the right planning, you'll be able to make the right, savings for yourself and the future that you hope to get. And finally, the B, so SSB, the B is budget. To make this happen, we have a way of maybe achieving or meeting our personal needs or what we set for ourselves. And we do that through budgeting. And so the plan helps you to know how to appropriate or assign the right amount to whatever it is that you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you have a goal that you need to meet. And so to do that, you need to make sure that you are allocating the right resources at the right places to enable you achieve whatever it is that you've set for yourself. And so in summary, these are the three key things that I will say are very the importance of having the financial plan in place. But there are more that we can speak about, but I'm sure as the conversation gets deeper, we will delve into it and see what we can do about them. Yeah.
Definitely. So SSB, all right.
Yes.
Very well noted. Okay, so back to you, Judy. Judy, besides goals, what are some other key factors that one needs to consider when setting a financial plan?
Okay, you've rightly mentioned the goals. It's very key. You have to clearly define your goals. Beyond that, you have to look at your time horizon. By that I mean the time you have to achieve the plan from the day you are setting up the plan. Okay. It's important because for someone who is near retirement, who has a goal of retirement, let's say having a secure retirement, if they have 5 years, the plan that you create for them will differ from someone who is 30 years and has a 30-year horizon towards achieving their plan. The next thing you need to consider also will be your income. It's out of our income that we meet our day-to-day expenses. After we've taken out our day-to-day expenses, we need to know how much we have. And typically in investment, we say that you determine how much you save rather than before you determine your regular expenditure. So that becomes a habit and you are committed to it. The next thing you need to consider also will be emergencies. And here you need to create an emergency fund. As we go on, we'll delve more into that. Okay. In life, unforeseen events will happen day in, day out. You need to be prepared when those events occur so that you face them on or you manage through those phases of your life in a better manner. So those are some of the things you can consider here in developing your plan.
Wow, very, very interesting. So these are actually things that we overlook. They happen on a daily basis, but we don't actually consider.
Yes.
Interesting.
And these things, when it comes to the expenses, require an intentional effort for you to document what your expenses are.
Okay.
So that you know how much you spend on them. And then when you're preparing your financial plan, you give good data that will help us get to a better conclusion that suits you and helps you achieve your financial goals.
Okay. Wow, very well said. I also learned about something called the investment personality. I don't know, Stephen, if you could highlight on that.
In simple terms, investment personality is basically trying to understand yourself and what kind of investment will suit you. Okay. So in our balance, you say that your risk profile. So that's basically your investment personality. It's like when you go to the hospital and you are sick, the medicine that will be prescribed for somebody who is suffering from sickness A will not be the same as somebody suffering from sickness B. Okay. They diagnose you and prescribe the right medication for you to cure you. The same way, you can't just get up and say you are going to do investment. You need to know your risk profile, to know what you can take on and what you can't.
How do you know your risk profile in the first place?
Thank you very much. I think this is an opportunity to say that you should get in touch with Petra at any point in time. We have great advisors in place who will help you to do this at ease. But there are apps and there are some questions that will be asked the individuals to help you do this. If you are listening to us or you've joined us, whichever platform, find time and visit Petra Trust or contact us. We'll help you to make this exercise very easy and convenient for you. At the end of the exercise, you get to know where you can invest in and what kind of risk you can take on as an individual. And so, because it's a critical component of investment or knowing yourself to help you to know what exactly you will invest in, you need to take this serious. And Petra will do that at ease, and it's very free of charge. So we entreat each other or everybody to take advantage of it. The reason why I say knowing your investment profile is very important is because most of us have the appetite to invest. So you take the money and go and put it anywhere. I remember growing up, our parents were encouraging us to put something aside. And so there was what we call piggy bank or susu box. You put something small into it. At the end of the year, as you rightly
Christmas.
said, your parents will open it for you, then you go and, you know, spend it, you finish
know.
it. That was a way of saving. But
I mean, if we knew all these, we wouldn't have been breaking them.
Thank you, thank you. So you put something aside, but in no time you take it and finish it. Yes, it's good. You put something aside, but the goal is not to consume everything. And this conversation will help us to know where to put the money and which one we can touch and which one we cannot touch today. So it's very, very important. You know, we take advantage of all of these things. And so the investment personality is key, very, very important in where you put your money. Somewhere last 2 years there about when the economy had some issues referred to the financial crisis.
Sure.
Remember, people lost money because of some investment they did, and so they've not been able to recover from.
That's true.
I always say that if you don't have if you don't know your risk, there are some investments you don't have to get into it. And so knowing them is very critical, and so help you to know what exactly you do. My mother always go and put her money in savings, treasury bills. Somebody also put their money in a bank account. Is it really the best? I guess there's more you can do with your money, but knowing your investment profile or personality helps you to know where you can put your money to get the right returns on it.
Indeed, knowledge is power, and so that's why you have to consult an expert at Petra or from Petra to assist you choose the right investment plan so that you can save for your future and achieve more. All right, now back to Judy. Judy, you mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned goals, your time horizon, what have you. He also talked about the investment personality. Amongst them, which one of them is more important? Is there an order of priority?
That's a very good question, Carly. So when it comes to investment, there are a few things that are priority. I'll mention them and I'll go further to explain them. Key amongst them is to have an emergency fund. The second thing you want to do is to look at retirement. And then the third thing you want to do is look at your day-to-day expenses, what keeps you going on a day-to-day basis. So starting from the first one, the emergency fund, like I mentioned, nobody plans for a bad day, but life happens. And certainly we would have times, that events that come up that we haven't planned for, like COVID, like you're saying. Nobody is excited about COVID, but it has come, and we have to face on and move on in life. Out of COVID, people have lost their jobs. Businesses have collapsed. People have lost their lives. We've lost our loved ones. We have to bury them right. These events we didn't plan for, they have come. So as an employee, or let's say as an individual, you are expected to set a portion of your income aside as a savings buffer. And investment planning, in the process, we call the emergency fund the backbone of any solid investment plan. Why do I say that? If you have an emergency fund, when these sudden events occur, you don't need to truncate the plan you currently have towards saving towards your future plans. You just fall on your emergency fund to sort yourself out. You don't have to go and fetch into the income or the investment that you are creating towards your retirement. You don't need to go and break the investment that you have towards building a home. You just fall on this emergency fund to sort yourself out temporarily.
You know what, Judy, not to catch you, but I'm very glad you cited examples as COVID for an emergency, because some people really, honestly do not understand what emergencies are. People would break into their accounts, their savings, and then use their funds to, do their wedding. As if to say they never assumed they would get married in future.
With good financial planning, if you go through the financial process properly, you'd realize that you want to get married at some point in time. So having a fund to let's say, spend on the wedding will become one of your goals, and will determine how much you want to spend on that wedding and how to save towards it. So those planned events are planned. You know they will come. You are better off setting a goal and saving towards it. You don't fetch into your emergency fund when those events happen. The next thing I want to talk about would be the retirement. Day in, day out, we pray to our God and we have faith that we will live long lives to enjoy our hard work at retirement.
Somebody.
And take our trips to the Bahamas, to Malta, to Cyprus, everywhere.
Seriously?
Yes. So as we plan to have those vacations, there's need for us to save and invest in preparation towards the life that we want to live at retirement. So from where I sit, I see a lot of retirees. Some people come for their retirement benefits and they are happy and they are moving on. Others come and they look at what they are about to take home and they are worried. Why are they worried? Because I want to put a smile on your face. I'd like to engage you and understand why are you worried and how can I help you put a smile on your face. You look at how much they earn and they'll tell you that when they put together all the things that they've accrued towards retirement, they realize that they have, let's say, 1,000, they can only allocate 1,000 cedis a month towards their life at retirement. However, when they sit down and look, for some of them, they have children. They are paying school fees. Their kids have grown up because maybe they defer childbirth to a later part of their life.
Sure.
They have children in school. And when they look at this 1,000, by the time you give your son pocket money, put food on your table, pay your utility bills, you have nothing to do all the other things you want to satisfy yourself at retirement. So this demands you at an early stage in your life, or even if you are close to retirement, it's still a good enough time because you are better off late than never to take action, to come up with a financial plan that will help you secure your retirement future. The last thing that I want to talk about is your day-to-day expenses. That's what keeps you going. Without making provision for your transport to work in and out, you can't operate.
No.
Without making provision for the food you eat every day, you probably die out of hunger. So in developing a financial plan, you need to take care of those day-to-day expenses as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And Kali, if I may, because most of us do not take some of these things serious, especially the emergency fund, whenever we find ourselves in any unforeseen circumstance, we get ourselves wanting. So, for instance, if today you own a car and the car breaks down, and you call the mechanic and the mechanic diagnoses and tells you that there's a problem with the engine that needs to be replaced, maybe you need to cough up about 4,000 to 5,000 Ghana cedis to get it replaced. You may not have that money anywhere. What you may do is to probably go and break your investment to get the car going. And that is a wrong approach towards planning your life. The emergency fund is supposed to serve for that purpose. If today you have a regular stream of income, say you are in employment, and for some reasons your employer decides to lay you off or there's redundancy, ask yourself, will you be able to survive in the next 6 months to 1 year without regular income? These are some questions that we need to ask ourselves and know that these things are part of our everyday lives. It is not something that is far away from us. Last year there was COVID. This year we are still dealing with COVID. We don't know how soon this is going to be, how soon we will get away from this, or what may come again. And so we all need to take the emergency plan seriously. And also to the retirement too. For most of us, the young ones, whenever we mention retirement, we think it's far away from us. Far-fetched. So you may be 25, 30 years, 40 years, if you are watching us or listening to us, wherever you may be, and you feel retirement is far away from you, please, this is the time to rethink after this conversation. You have to rethink about your priorities because retirement is very close. If you remember the last time the World Cup was hosted on the soil of Africa, in South Africa. 2010. Yeah. Today we are in 2021, exactly 11 years today. So it looked very far, like 11 years look far away, but if you cast your mind back 11 years ago, when Asamoah Gyan spotted that penalty, I would have gone to the semi-final.
I remember like yesterday.
Thank you very much. That's 11 good years. President Kufuor became president of Ghana in 2001. Yeah. Today, we are in 2021. That's 20 years now.
Down
so some of these things, if you think it's far away, please, time to pause, rethink and say that no, 20 years from today will come if I don't prepare or plan for it. And so I expect that after this conversation, give us a call, contact us, come around. Let's have a conversation on how we can help you to, have a very systematic plan whereby you wouldn't have to go and disinvest, go and break your investment, find yourself wanting and always moving from friend to friend to help you, get your life going. Life is such that if you don't plan for your life, trust me, you end up planning to fail. Because one way or the other, there needs to be a plan. Exactly. And so when you sit back and say that, okay, I'm going to plan on what to do with the limited resources that I have, over time you realize that the monies you have will be working for you. And I'm sure as we get into it, we will talk about compounding interest and I'll throw more light on it. So I entreat everybody that, please, let's take this conversation very serious and plan for our financial lives. Thank you very much.
You know what, Stephen, as you spoke, it rang a bell that even sometimes having a kid, it could be an emergency. Because sometimes people have unplanned kids. You may think that you've done all your crossing your T's and dotting your I's and you are done, and suddenly you have like an unplanned kid come. Sometimes even if you lose a parent or an older relative, people say that you are wicked if you start saving or doing an investment policy or plan, insurance or something for a parent against a funeral plan. You know, what do you say to people about that?
And maybe people will think that way, especially if you have a funeral plan in place. They may think you are wicked because of limited knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I am planning for the future doesn't mean that I am wicked and I am hoping that somebody will die. In fact, one of the inevitables in life is death.
Exactly.
It will happen anyways. And so it's either you plan for it or you meet it and start crying. And so once you know that it will happen, then the best thing to do is to plan for it. And today, there are a lot of investment packages around that can help you, put something small aside so that when the unexpected should happen tomorrow, somebody can come in to help you to, make sure that you can get your way around. And about the unplanned pregnancy, that's an interesting one. Yes, the pregnancy in itself may be unplanned because you may not have been expecting it, as you rightly put it. But within the time you take seed to the time you give birth, that's a whole 9 months.
A whole 9 months to plan.
It's expected that some planning will go on. And I always say that once you know that you are sexually active, start planning. And now what most parents are doing is immediately they give birth to the child, they open a child savings account for the child. I encourage my brother to do that, and today my nephew calls me and said that, "Uncle, please, I need money in my Achieve." Petra has an app called Achieve app.
Yeah.
You can put anything you want in at any point in time without any restrictions. And the last time I checked the little child's account, I was surprised how much I saw.
Wow.
And it's because somebody started.
That's
and so
amazing.
let's inculcate the habit of saving even in the young ones. So if you are watching or listening to us and you are a parent, I entreat you to have an account for the child. Don't keep it as a secret. Let the child know that this is for you. And once you do that, in your morning devotions and in meetings, family meetings, let the child know that I have this thing for you. So when you give the child money to go to school, they can say, "Mommy, please, I have 1 cedi. Add it to my savings account." It's a way of also trying to change the narrative when it comes to savings. And so I also encourage parents and to be parents to take advantage of this and have investment and savings accounts for their kids.
In fact, even this should be recommended in the schools, financial planning. From scratch. What do you think, Judy?
It's taught in school, especially when you're in high school. It's taught because you're required to understand your finances, develop a savings habit, learn how to file your taxes and all. It is taught in school. So it's high time we look at it as a country, and like he said, we need to change the narrative, change the way we are doing things around this place.
In our part of the world, it's not really part of whatever we study in school, but what we do, especially at Petra, is that we engage organizations and institutions to sensitize people about putting something aside for tomorrow. Because of what we do, and Judy rightly hit the nail on the head when she said she meets a lot of people who are at the end of their working life. And sometimes it's not easy. Somebody really lived a good life, and in some few months, she'll be going on retirement, or she'll be going on retirement, and the person is not prepared.
Amazing.
How are you going to survive? When most of us are working in our various workplaces, we may have free medical health for us. So whenever you are sick, you just take your card and go to the hospital. Forgetting that when you go on retirement, that card will not be available for you. So the question you should ask yourself is, when you leave that employment, how do you survive?
Exactly.
How do you keep life going? And so these are begging questions we need to ask ourselves and start to sacrifice and make sure that we plan for the future. And I always say this, I'll continue to say, when you get in touch with us, we make these conversations very easy. We help you to allocate and apportion your funds accordingly. As I said, we have the Achieve app. It's very simple and convenient. Very simple and convenient. You can easily, save any amount that you want on it. We have savings booster and other collective investments around. And so, if you've joined us today, take advantage and let's help you, to change the narrative.
I'm not surprised Stephen is the business development head. After he makes each submission, he makes sure he sells a product or the other.
Because the goal is to change lives.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, when this turns out to be a talk show, we will not achieve what we expect.
Action, not words.
And for me, we've been having these conversations all the time. Last week I was in Takrade. I was doing something like this. You talk to people within the space or around the time that you are talking. Everybody is very enthusiastic. When you leave,
that's it.
The dream, the power, everything it's gone like that. And so people need to be ready to take a bold step after the conversation. Else we'll be having these conversations and the narrative will not change. And so that's why I keep saying that get in touch with us, and we'll help you to make your life very easy.
Very easy, very, very easy. Judy, just to touch on something Steve mentioned about retirement. I mean, we work in corporate organizations, and then they always set aside an amount for our pensions. So is that not really enough? Do we have to make an extra effort, a deliberate effort, to save something extra for our future, for our retirement?
Great. So, Kale, yes, our organizations are mandated by law to set aside something, and in other situations, we ourselves voluntarily decide to contribute to Tier 3 schemes as managed here by Petra, and by extension, even personal pension schemes like Savings Booster. So, the question on whether it is sufficient purely depends on the goal you have for yourself in your financial plan. What kind of lifestyle do you want to live after retirement? If that retirement, that plan, that vision that you have for your future or your retirement life can't be funded by what your employer has set aside, then you are good to go. However, from experience, I've come to realize that that is not the case in most cases. And here, I'm not talking about people who don't earn or who earn relatively low incomes. It cuts across the person who earns 1,000 to the person who earns 30,000. Sometimes when they come for their retirement packages are sad because what has been set, what they have accrued over the years, even though has been invested and has grown, is insufficient to cushion them through their retirement lives. So as an individual, you have the chance to take action, to make a decision, to come up with other investment options where you can grow money, or even start side businesses if that is what it is for you. Let me say something. In the process of planning your finances, going through the financial plan processes, there are times when we come up with plans for individuals when they realize that the income that they have does not match the expenses for the desired lives that they want to live. They make decisions on how to accrue other income. Some choose the option of investing in financial assets here, like shares, like bonds, treasury bills, and things. Some also choose to do mutual funds. Others decide that they have other capabilities or talents that God has given them that they've not tapped into. For someone, it means weekends they can MC at events to make extra income.
Like I do sometimes.
Oh, that's it, So getting that extra income helps them to fund other activities, or save more towards funding their future retirement lives. So don't lay back or relax and say that because your employer is putting something aside, it's enough. Look at what you want, the lifestyle you want to live. Come up with the goals you want to achieve. If you want to build a house and you check your statements frequently and you look at the amount you need to build that house in, let's say, 10 years or 5 years, and you realize that this money I can't accrue towards building a house, the time to take action is now. Especially depending on the type of house that you want to live in. If you want to live in a condo at retirement, then you can't be looking at money that builds a small town house.
Exactly.
So look at how much you have in your retirement account and make a decision today. My experience has taught me in most cases it's not sufficient to fund your retirement living.
What the company does for the employee, I mean, there's a portion in the Pensions Act that allows companies to set up Tier 3 for their employees. In most instances, companies do not have a Tier 3. That is a smart way whereby you can save on your income taxes. Deductions into Tier 3 are not taxed. And so, no matter where you are, once you can hear our voice today, please go to your HR or finance manager and find out whether they have a Tier 3 in place. If they don't, encourage them to have one. If the company is not in the capacity to set up one because of reasons best known to them, the law allows that the individual can do that, and the company is supposed to provide administrative, support for the individual to do that. So, once you work in the company whereby you have Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, praise be to God. I mean, you are good to go. But that alone is not enough, and that should not be a substitute for the conversation that we've been having about your emergency fund and your investments and what have you. If the company is doing it for you, great. But you also need to have these things to augment whatever it is that you get from this when you get to the end of your working life. And it makes a life better at that stage, because at that level, the regular incomes will not be coming. But that's when you are required to spend more, especially on health. because it is at the time that the doctors will tell you, don't eat this, don't touch this, don't sleep here, and all of that. And it's sometimes worrying and expensive. And if you've not planned for it, it becomes very frustrating. Judy said earlier that we pray for long life. But we should ask ourselves whether we are really prepared for the long life God is giving us. If we are not prepared, let's not bother God with long life, long life. Because you get a long life, now you become a burden on society. I think as we pray for long life, let's also put in the measures so that we can enjoy the life that we are hoping and praying for. It's very, very important.
So that, Carly, not to cut you, but on the bit about the Tier 3, Tier 3 comes with tax advantages as well, as specified in the law. It reduces how much, what you would have erstwhile paid as tax, it reduces it significantly. So we encourage every individual to take advantage of that tax benefit and get a Tier 3 account. If your employer is not willing to set up one for your organization, you as an individual can register onto a personal pension scheme, which is also a Tier 3 account, and take advantage of this tax benefit and grow additional funds towards your retirement. Yeah.
All right. So the choice is yours.
Really.
In fact, you don't even have a choice after all this, hearing all this from Steve and then from Judy. You should make the choice to sign up now.
And please, if you are self-employed or a rising entrepreneur, you are not out of this conversation.
Yes,
exactly.
And so you are all, part of the equation. And let's take hold of our future.
Definitely, definitely. So, but does it mean that because we are planning for our future, we are striving, saving, we are being disciplined, doesn't mean we shouldn't enjoy ourselves, we shouldn't chill small? I mean, how can I work 24/7, 8 to 5, even sometimes to 7 to 9? Weekends, I'll add up. I shouldn't chill small. I shouldn't go for a little holiday. I shouldn't go for parties. I shouldn't change my wardrobe. I mean, what's the point if you can't chill a bit?
That's an interesting one. Nobody here is saying that we shouldn't chill. And nobody here is trying to make
work hard,
life,
play hard, right?
Thank you. I mean, you've tried to summarize everything.
Life
work
is a
hard,
balance.
play hard. All that we are saying is that out of the limited resources that you have, save some. Have fun. Because really, what is the future without today? Exactly. You need to enjoy life, but don't enjoy it excessively. There are immediately the month curves. So from 15, 16, 17, then they start asking the finance manager, when are you going to pay? When are you going to pay? It's because we've, used all the money. So we should have fun. I mean, we should enjoy. Last quarter, March ending, I was in Dubai with the family. It's important you have fun and all of that. And I have clients and customers who have investments in place whereby the returns they make on their investments is able to give them this lifestyle. So they're able to travel without even taking from their pockets. But the kind of investment
Stephen,
they are
you need to give me that kind of advice.
That's like that. Start today. When you start, there's something called power of compounding.
Okay.
Assuming in 2010, when we were playing World Cup in South Africa, you were putting aside 100 Ghana cedis every month, or say 200 Ghana cedis. Today, you will not have anything less than 200,000 in your account. Assuming maybe it was growing at a rate of, say, 20% or 18%. You will not have anything less than 200,000 in your account. And when you increase it periodically, you will know that you have more money into it. And so the most difficult thing is when to start.
When to start.
So these conversations, I'm sure most of you may have heard it before, and you never started. It's not too late. The fact that you didn't do it yesterday doesn't mean that you can't do it today. One of my lecturers once told me that the best time to save is when you first get your employment letter. But then I was in school. I didn't really understand what he was saying, but over the years I've realized that it's true. And said the second best time is now. So if you miss the first one, take advantage of today. After this conversation, try and see how you can change your life and have a plan in place.
But me, I thought when you get your first salary, at least your mother or your parents, and then you give some to God, or
I will not dispute that. In fact, there are some people that when they get their first salary, they call it first fruit.
Good,
they will give everything to God.
Yes.
I will not. It's a matter of faith.
Faith.
All I'm saying is that when you get your first employment and you get your first paycheck, make sure that's when the planning starts. So you start planning for your future, your retirement, and everything from that day. If your faith tells you that you give everything to God, I am not really here to debunk that. However, I'm only saying that when after giving the first fruit to God, because you may believe it was through God who made it possible for you. I don't have any qualms about it, but make a conscious effort to put something down moving forward. If you spend 100 Ghana cedis on drinks or credit or whatever on weekly basis. And because of these conversations, you want to reduce it and put some into your savings. Over time, you see the net effect and you realize that, oh, okay, I should have started this earlier. And so some of these conversations, when you hear them, don't be too disturbed and don't also feel that it is not time for you. Like you shouldn't enjoy life today. Have fun. Do all the fun, the exciting things that you can, but have a plan in place. It is critical and important. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Stephen and Judy, for those insightful submissions. Now, if you're with us on Zoom, I would want to remind you of our polls. We have an ongoing survey. Please do make sure you get on board, kindly complete it for us so that we can have appropriate feedback to serve you better so that you can achieve more. All right, so now if you're kindly watching us on this webinar, we would like you to receive more tips and expert financial advice or speak with an advisor. So please make sure you WhatsApp on, I believe the numbers are right on our screens. WhatsApp us on 050-541-0244 or 050-459-3935 now. Make sure you get in touch with a Petra financial expert, and definitely your tomorrow will be better than your today. Okay, so now let's talk investments. Are we ready for investment? Okay, so what do I need to invest in and what should I avoid? Judy?
Great. When it comes to investments, I think we discussed earlier investment personalities of individuals. Before making the decision to invest, there are a few boxes you need to check. One, you need to have an emergency fund in place. And there's a rule of thumb when it comes to emergency funds. Typically, we use your monthly income as a standard to say the size of the fund should be about 6 months of your income.
6 good months.
6 good months.
How
of your
possible
month.
is that?
Don't get scared when we say 6 months. It takes time to accrue that 6 months income. Okay, so don't worry about the figure that you come up with, because it's believed that it's out of that income that you determine your expenses. So to be able to survive, for example, in case you lose your job, you will need, on average, it's been determined that you need about, on average, 6 months to find your next job. So if you have 6 months of income, you should be fine. You don't have to panic or run around with a lot of anxiety before you find your next job. Or like Stephen said earlier, go and borrow money from your friends to survive. So if you have 6 months of income, it's enough. The next thing you need to know is your investment personality, and by that we're talking about your risk tolerance level. Some investments are more risky than others.
Okay.
So knowing your risk tolerance level, or we will know whether we need to invest in assets that are, or investments that are volatile in nature. The returns on them can rise very fast, and the same way they can decline very fast. So depending on your risk tolerance, we'll know whether you are conservative or you're a risk taker, and then we'll know where to put investment in. The other thing that you need to know when it comes to what to invest in is you don't need to follow the crowd. Know yourself, know your goals, and determine what the best investment to put your money in. There are different types of investments. There are shares, what we can call them stocks as well. There are bonds, there are government treasury bills, which is very popular because it has been there since time immemorial and is very common in our part of the world. There are also collective investment schemes like savings booster. There are mutual funds that you can put your funds in. For most of these collective investments, they diversify the funds into different asset classes so that when the one asset class is not performing too well, the net effect on the investment scheme in total is minimized. Okay. And speaking of diversification, when you decide to invest, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because if that basket falls today, everything goes down. You have to make a decision. This is where you need expert advice to divide the fund into smaller portions and invest in different assets so that when one is not performing well, your funds are still safeguarded. So really, depending on these factors, you will choose an asset that helps you achieve your goal within the shortest possible time.
Wow, so we don't have to put all our eggs in one basket.
Yes,
we have to diversify.
and don't follow the crowd. That's another thing. Don't follow the crowd. So there's a new trend in investment. There's this new asset that everyone is there, and you're just going. Don't follow the crowd. Know yourself. Know what you want to achieve, and plan on what is good for you and how to get there.
Definitely.
achieving the goal.
Now, you were about to add on?
So,
Okay.
I think Judy has done justice to the investment topic. But whenever you think of investment, think long term.
Long term.
Savings, emergency funds
so
are
no
mostly
short-term?
short term.
Okay.
So they are short term ones. But I'm saying that what you put into your savings and emergency funds are mostly for your short term needs.
Okay.
But investment, you should be ready to discipline yourself for a long term.
Okay.
So when you when you go in and do some investment, and maybe you say that, oh, okay, the money is growing, and you want to go and take the money periodically, it may defeat the purpose for which you took that exercise. So try and give yourself some time and see how the money grows, and you yourself will be amazed at the performance that you are seeing. Yeah.
Wow, very well said. So, Judy talked about assets, and I think I heard him mention some other instruments. So, what are examples of things that we think are assets, yet they may be liabilities?
I think the commonest one that comes to mind is maybe a car.
Okay.
Whenever you look at a company's financial statements,
Okay.
when they are listing their assets or balance sheet, they list their cars as part of their assets.
Okay.
And the reason is that the car generates income for the organization, and so
Okay.
they are very right to list it as an asset.
Sure.
However, for you and I, when we have a car and we forward the car, maintain the car, and make sure the car is in good condition, at that point, it's not really an asset for us. So you bought the car, all right.
By serving a purpose, so why is it not an asset?
I'm coming there. So you took your hard-earned investment to go and buy the car. Praise the Lord. You have something that you can call an asset. But what I'm saying is you need to put something in the car to get it going.
Oh, okay.
So when you don't have money to buy fuel, the car can't move. So at that point, you realize that you will be spending more on the car. And so at that point, it makes it very difficult to classify it as an asset.
Okay.
However, if maybe you buy a car and you are using it for commercial purposes, at that point, then you can confidently say that it has become an asset for you. And so, thank you. And so I buy a car or I buy an extra car and I use it for Uber.
Okay. Okay.
I am getting periodic income from from buying that car because I'm using it for Uber. Out of that income, I'm able to set some aside for investment, able to set some aside to buy fuel, able to set some aside to maintain the car and everything that needs to be done. I don't have to go into my emergency funds or my investments to take money to get the car going. And so when it's used for such purposes, you can say that it is an asset. And today, most people maybe will go and say they want to own a land. So you go and buy a land that, say, Winneba. I had a friend who told him that, oh, let's go to Winneba Junction. And I'm like, why should I go and buy a land at Winneba Junction? He said, oh, very soon, Winneba Junction and Kaswa Accra will be one. A boom. And I'm like, yeah, but...
That's even happening now. Because people drive long distances. Kaswa, Koforidua.
And this costs you in other ways in terms of cost of transport.
Yes. And so you will go and buy the land, all right. And land in Ghana mostly appreciates. But ask yourself, where is your work? Where are you working from? And where is the land that you're going to buy? So you realize that even though you want to buy a land that you are trying to put something on or develop it, you're unable to really enjoy what you are doing. And it's because you end up using all your money to commute from one place to another. Because from where the land is and you're trying to build, it's far from where your work is. And so at that point, it becomes very, worrying. And you also realize you spend more hours in traffic. And that too is resources that is being wasted. And so it's good to buy a land, but where you are buying the land is critical and important. So you need to consider where you are buying it for. Not all of us can buy lands at cantonments or Laboni or East Legon.
They're all taken anyway. And to even buy an already built house and renovate is even more costly.
More costly, yes. If you've not planned for it, you can't.
You can't.
You can't unless maybe something magical happens in your life. And life is not always about magic. You need to plan for it. And so where you have to do this investment into fixed assets, you need to be very careful where you are purchasing it and what you want to do on it. As for your first home, I will not really encourage anybody to go and put up a 7-bedroom apartment.
Exactly.
Or if you're not careful, by the time you finish putting up that 7-bedroom apartment, you will be on your retirement or you will be close to your grave. You wouldn't live to enjoy
your
it.
kids would live and
They will
also
live.
want to have their own.
Surprisingly, now the kids, after university, they don't want to stay home again. They want to move away
telling
and
you.
go and be on their own. They want to be
Explore
independent.
life.
Thank you very much. And so let's look at these things critically and make sure that you're making the right decisions. Because you cannot do it all by yourself, you need to talk to Petra so that you can get an advisor who will help you in making the right decisions with respect to your finances and how you want to plan your tomorrow. It's important. Get in touch and let's talk.
This is really interesting because some people even feel that, oh, maybe if they leave some stuff like houses, cars, even jewelry for their kids as part of their will, they feel is worth an investment.
It is. You know, in the past, I remember my grandmother left my mom a box of jewelries and other things.
And then you must be rich by now.
I don't know the value of that. That jewelry is still in her wardrobe. If you can convert that into something tangible or something that can give you value.
Yeah, sorry to catch you, but I know in the UK, for instance, they auction a lot of jewelry. They'll have jewelry from the 18th century, 17th century, and it still looks so good.
Excellent, you know. So for some parents, what they'll do is they'll take them and go to PPMC.
PPMC, yeah.
And they help them to value and get something out of it. But if you have it and it's in your wardrobe and it is eroding and it's rusting, the value is going down. And so you need to look at some of these things. Once, if you have those assets, the jewelry is in place, it's great. Take them to PPMC, let them value it for you, get some money, put them into assets whereby when you are sleeping, your money will be working for you. It's very, very important to make some of these decisions. Else, we will sacrifice our sleep and be working. We should get to a point whereby we can confidently say we are sleeping and the monies that we've accumulated will be working for us. Other than that, we will work for the rest of our lives without sleeping. Because when you sleep, you can't sleep on the bed that you bought for yourself because the pressures on you is too much. So please, let's take some of these conversations serious because tomorrow is not assured.
Okay.
To what Stephen said, we are not saying that when you buy a land is bad. When you have an objective, let's say it's a short-term objective, typically for us, when you are investing with the aim of liquidating that investment in about in about a year, we say it's a short-term investment. So when you are doing a short-term investment and you've gone to buy a land, if you've sold land before, you know that it takes a long time to sell it. So you need this money in a year's time. And selling it has become a difficulty. You add up the cost of selling the land, that would erode all the profits you're making on the land. Then you realize that that's not a worthwhile investment. So some of these things are assets. But like he said, like depending on the location, depending on your objectives and your time horizon, you may not end up realizing the full benefit of that asset. When it comes to jewelry, you might want to take items or designs that do not become obsolete over time. So that in the future, when you're reselling, you get maximum value out of it. So you really have to make some of these decisions. And with a good financial plan, these things will all sit on you, will come to mind and come to play when you are making decisions in your life. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Interesting. So, I mean, with all that you are saying, I'm sure that our participants who are with us on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, and then the Achieve app, I'm sure they would want to get further advice from us. So, how accessible is this advisory service from Petra?
The simplest answer.
The way you like money.
The simplest answer to the question is very accessible. Okay. And the surprising thing about all of this conversation is the advice we give are very free. Very, very free. We don't charge anything for helping you to plan.
Okay.
And so we are accessible. We have great financial advisors in place, business developers, and individuals who are well equipped. They've been trained to help individuals to plan. Okay. Today in our books, we have over 300,000 individuals that one way or the other, we are helping them to plan their future and keeping their funds for them. And so we have what it takes to make sure that we give you the right advice. One thing about advice is, at the end of the day, nobody will really force you to, implement it. We give you the advice. advice, you have to go and sit down and see which one works for you, and you will take it. So we are very accessible between Monday to Friday. Once you reach out to us, you get all the information that you need. And once you get our numbers, you can call us at any time. Somebody will be ready to assist you with all the information that you need. And if for some reasons you have to visit our offices, we are located in Airport West. Anytime, walk in and let's have a conversation. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
Come to you to be available. You book an appointment and our advisors will come and see you at your convenience or whatever location you give, and then they'll help you through this process.
Very, very well said. Thank you, Stephen.
So add this, if you're an organization and for some reasons you find yourself here, or you represent an organization and you've joined us, you can invite us to have a talk with your staff. We, as an organization, we've been pushing to make financial planning as a part of employee engagement.
Okay.
And so whenever you have staff meetings, orientations, what have you for new employees, financial planning should be a key component of the training that we give the employees. So if you are HR practitioner or finance manager and you've joined us, feel free to reach out to us. We will come around and help your employees to plan and give them the best solutions that they have. At the end of the day, when everybody is able to, we are all financially independent, it helps the economy and it also helps us to have a bright future. And so we should take advantage of this conversation to change the narrative.
Stephen, so no one is left out. There's total financial inclusion, even the schools, the churches, because at the end of the day, realize that in society there's some form of imbalance. It looks like some sectors are a bit downward, looking in terms of finances. So I hope that this applies not just to the corporate institutions, but to organizations such as schools, religious bodies, what have you, NGOs.
It applies to everybody.
Okay.
Those in the formal sector and the informal sector.
Okay.
So we are here to help you achieve more.
All right.
We didn't say that we are here to help those in the formal sector achieve more.
Only. Okay.
So once you are around and we are here to help you, feel free to reach out to us. We will give you all the advice that you need. As I said, last week I was in Takoradi. I was in some of the mining towns and some of the farms.
Wow.
Places that you will not expect that we will be. But our goal is to help individuals to achieve more. And so, irrespective of where they are, once you are able to get them together, you will come around and help them, with the necessary or requisite trainings and educations to help them make the right decisions. And so, we do not discriminate, and we don't intend discriminating. We will give equal services and whatever it is that. Last 3 years or so, we were with Musica in Koforidia.
Oh, wow.
They have a program in Koforidia, and we went around to have a talk with them. So if we have formalized groups that meet periodically, they can engage us to have a conversation on how we can help them to make their lives easier. If you are maybe an institution, higher learning institution, or a church, or what have you, and you want us to come around to have a conversation with your congregants or your members, feel free to reach out to us. We will make it happen at no cost. Thank you.
All right. So that was Stephen and Judy on investment. No one is left out. Everybody is absolutely included. And so to book your free advisory session, please WhatsApp 050-541-0244 or 050-459-3935 now. That, I believe, was on the screen so that you can pick up these numbers. And please get in touch with us for your free advisory services. And we are going to help you achieve more. I believe that at this point, we will have some questions from our avid participants. And so before that, we'd like to even pause and take a quick break. And we'll be right back to attend to them. Thank you so much.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Thank you so much. You're welcome back from that quick commercial break. And I'm Carly Metal, your moderator. With me are Judy Shinri, the head of customer experience, and of course, Stephen Sapon, head of business development. It's been a great time so far with you. And we're back with your questions. I know my panelists are super sharp. They are going to do justice to all of them because we want to help you achieve more. So we are definitely going to look at your questions and share our expert advice with you. All right, so we talked about financial planning. There's a question from Eric Kutsa Nedi. Lord help me pronounce it. Eric Kutsa Nedi. I've tried. Eric is asking, what are the steps for financial planning? Are there any fixed steps?
So we mentioned it in our discussion here, but let me take the opportunity to reiterate. Sure. The first thing you need to do is to set goals. There can't be financial planning without goals. Imagine maybe traveling to Techiman. You go to the station, and because you see that there's a bus, and they're saying that last one, you jump into the bus. Maybe the bus is going to Akosombo, but because you heard last one, you sit in it and you are going. And you realize that they are on the motorway. You say that I'm going to Techiman, so what's the motorway for? So that's when you realize that you've taken the wrong vehicle to your destination. And so you need to have a goal. It's very critical. You can't have a plan without a goal. It's a non-starter. So you need to know what it is that you want to achieve. That's the first thing you need to look at. The other thing too that you need to consider, is your income. Not all of us earn the same amount, but it is not about the quantum we put aside, but the discipline that you are. And so one thing you need to look at is your income. The how much you earn is important, but it's not the only thing that should define your ability to have a plan in place. No matter how small it is, you can do something. So look at your income and see what you can put aside. Put together all your income sources and see what you can put aside in each of the areas that you've mentioned to enable you, have a better plan in place. Then another thing that you also need to consider in setting up a plan is your retirement. You can't, your plan should not, exclude how your retirement will be like. So assuming I'm 25 years today, or even 30 years, I have either 30 years or 35 years to go on retirement. The planning needs to start today. And in the plan that I put in place, there should be a way that you put something aside to reach that goal. And some of this conversation becomes more practical and more easy when you reach out to us and we have a conversation as to how we can help you. So we can throw more light on it once we get in touch with us.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you very much, Stephen. So Stephen says that just get in touch with us and then we'll share more advisory services with you. The advisory services are definitely free. All right, next one, Samuel Lamte. He says, what percentage of my take-home pay is advisable to use for my kids?
So there is... I'm sure Judy is eager to help with response to this, but there's no magic number or magic percentage. Most of these things are very subjective. And so the individual will have to determine and decide what you want to do. And so if you look at your kid and the plans you have for your kid, maybe you want your kid to attend one of these Ivy League schools in US. You can't be putting aside 50 Ghana cedis or 10 Ghana cedis every month. If that is your goal, then you need to put more aside. However, if your goal is also to see them in anywhere that you think you can afford. It should trigger some decisions from your end to put something aside. So they are all subjective. But at least what I would say is, and I'm saying this based on practice and experience, because we've been doing this for some time. For most people, assuming you want to give birth to 3 kids, about 10 to 15%, maximum 20% of your salary should go into the kids' account. If you want to have 1 kid, 10% of it wouldn't be bad. I'm saying so because the cost of living keeps rising. And if the highest form of education you have is university degree, you should make sure your children are able to get to do their masters and, if possible, PhD. And as a parent, you should be able to support them to get there. And that can only happen when you put in place a systematic planning around. And so for me, the simplest answer to the question is look at how much you earned, look at the expenses that you have to incur, and then it will inform how much is left. Then based on that, you put something at the back. At any point in time, it shouldn't be 10%, less than 10% of your income. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Judy, do you have anything to add for that?
Sure.
I think, like you said, this is very subjective. You don't copy one person's financial plan and give to another. So there's no one size fits all. We have to look at your circumstances. We have to look at the lifestyle you want to offer for your kids, or how much you want to save for your children's future, and it will trickle down to determine how much you need to put aside each day, knowing that these monies will be invested for you and interest will be accrued on them towards gradually nearing your future goal. So it's purely, so the individual, Eric, right, should get in touch with us. We'll sit with him. Samuel, sorry. So we'll sit with Samuel and guide him through the process to determine the right amounts that suit his circumstances.
All right. So it's subjective, Samuel. You heard that from Judy. And so that's why you have to get in touch with us for more expert advisory services. And that brings me to the next question by Samuel Oklu. Samuel is asking for the phone numbers of our investment experts. So I'll do well to spell the numbers out again. Also write on your screen 050. Samuel, take a pen and write it down. Okay, 050 541 0244 or 050 459 3955. So Samuel, please take note of these numbers and do get in touch with us for expert advice. Please, those of us on Zoom, I kindly remind you to take note of our polls. Please complete them and let's have your feedback so we can improve on our services to you. All right, so the next one is from Alison Deborah. She's asking, regarding the emergency funds, is there a general rule of thumb on how much to set aside? I've heard advice recommending setting aside 3 to 6 months, which I believe we stated earlier, salary as an emergency fund, which might be difficult to achieve. Okay. Yes, that comes with some discipline.
I think in all of these conversations that we are saying, nobody here is saying it's easy. And it's going to be easy. It is difficult, but we need to be disciplined and be prepared to do it. There are so many things that we wouldn't have achieved when we told ourselves it was difficult. Even learning for an exam is not easy, but most of us have gone through it and we made it. So I believe this is one of the things that you can set for yourself and you'll be able to achieve it. Having 3 to 6 months of your income in your emergency fund, which is not easy. So assuming you are paid 1,000 Ghana cedis a month, you should have not less than 6,000 Ghana cedis in your emergency fund. That's not a joke, or that's not a joke, to have that money aside. To somebody, that is the person's whole investment. But what we are saying is that with systematic plan, you'll be able to do that without any difficulty. If you don't do it, and there is something else like COVID or what have you, then it becomes difficult to survive. Most people lost their jobs during COVID last year. And last 2-3 years too, when there was financial cleanup in the market, most people lost their job. They went home overnight. They were told that their companies are no more, and for that reason, they have to be home. And so, if you don't have a deliberate plan like that in place, then it becomes more difficult to live. So, if you think it's difficult to put aside 6 months of your income, then trust me, it will be more difficult to survive without that emergency plan. So let's all of us hold ourselves together and discipline ourselves that we can make it and have that emergency fund in place. Yeah.
So, Carly, just to add to that, when we say you should set up an emergency fund, that's equal to about 3 to 6 months of your income. We are not saying that from the day you set the plan now, every monthly income, you should put it away to have 6 months. You have monthly expenses too. Incur.
Definitely.
So all we are saying is that determine the value of the total 6 months income. Then let's devise a plan with you that you need to save in bits towards that amount, so that you don't. It's not about the anxiety. It's not about the fear. If that amount is 20,000, we will break it down into bits and bear in mind that there will be investment income in this equation. So if you're working towards 20,000, you don't need to save 100 cedis in bits till you have 20,000 as a sum. You may end up saving about, if you're working towards 20,000, you may end up saving like 12,000, and you would have accrued 8,000 in investment income. And that's the benefit of seeking an advice from an expert. Don't go and put 100 cedis, let's for instance, in the example that I'm giving, in a bank account, because that will give you a little income. Get an expert to guide you, find the right investment that will help you accrue maximum income out there to augment your savings efforts towards achieving that emerging fund amount or target.
All right, thank you so much, Judy. So, Alison, you heard that for yourself. Do get in touch with an expert to advise you so that you don't go and put all your 6 months' salary and you cry. All right, so an expert will strategically guide you to achieve that amount of income. All right, so back to Samuel. The numbers that I called out early on, those numbers are for WhatsApp, purposely for WhatsApp. But when you do get in touch with those lines, you'll be responded to immediately and you'll be assisted with financial advice. Okay, so now a quick one. Emmanuel says, hello, please, can you talk about the Achieve app, how safe it is, and what the difference between that one, is and Savings Booster? Obviously, one is an app, one is a product. So I believe the app is very safe and secure, very sound.
Okay, so the Achieve app is basically an app that has been powered by Petra to be put out there. It's a platform that allows individuals to come on board and identify financial products that meet their needs. Today we have DigiSave there, and DigiSave is powered through mutual funds which are backing it. That helps you save any amount of money and helps you redeem conveniently. You can make your contributions through Momo, through your Visa cards. You can easily contribute to it, and when it comes to redemptions too, the money is paid conveniently for you. Like you rightfully said, Savings Booster on the other hand is a product that an individual can sign on to and make or periodic contributions, or whenever you get a windfall, even both on the Achieve and the Savings Booster, you can put your money on it. So one is a product, one is a financial platform that gives you access to multiple products.
All right.
That's the Achieve app.
All right, thank you, Judy. So Emmanuel,
if Emmanuel sounds like he's interested and he wants something, he needs to get in touch quickly for us to help him get him on board.
Definitely. Thank you, Judy. So Emmanuel, do get in touch ASAP and let's support you get a right financial plan. All right, now to Vincent. Vincent Tay, can I start a tier 3 for my daughter who has just turned 18? Optionally, what products do you have do you have for someone of her age?
So the tier 3 is mostly work-based.
Okay.
And work-based in the sense that you mostly need to have an employer so that the deduction will be made from source for you to enjoy the tax savings. However, if you are self-employed, you are also expected to pay income tax to GRA. And so when you meet us, we can also help you to, have a tier 3 for yourself without any challenge. If you're, to the question directly, if your child is 18 years and maybe the child is not yet employed and you want to set up a tier 3 for the person, we will call it a personal account that you are setting for the individual. So in this case, the 18-year-old child can take advantage of our Savings Booster or any of our collective investment products available, or even the Achieve app to enable the child, put something aside for tomorrow. And so once the person is above 18 years and the person is in a sound mind and the parents have the ability to pay for the person, we will be ever ready to engage the parents to make sure that they have a plan for the child. He won't be alone. There are different parents with different kids that we are doing this for. Some have about 4 kids and they have different plans for each of them. They believe that they may not be there all the time. And so even when they put up this plan, they back it up with insurance. We have something we call Dream Guard. So we are protecting the dream or the plan that you have. Should any eventuality happen along the line, you should know that the dream will not be truncated. And so if you have a dream to get your child, say, 500,000 in the next 10 years, and for some reasons, the person who is setting up the plan for you is no more, it doesn't mean that that dream cannot be achieved. With Dream Guard, the dream can easily be achieved. And all of these things is made easier, again, when you get in touch with us and we talk. You will know which one suits you and which one you can take advantage of to help you have the right plan in place and have a bright future.
All right, thank you so much for addressing that. Vincent, I hope your question was well answered. Now, Thomas Panfo, he says, hi, I'm already on the Savings Booster investment plan. How do I add up the retirement package as well?
Thank you very much for choosing Savings Booster. We are forever grateful. We are forever grateful for that. I think it's exciting to hear that somebody is actually experiencing some of the things that we are talking about. To add up to any of our products is not difficult. Get in touch respectfully and let's have a conversation on how you can, add on more products to what you have. So if you have Savings Booster, it doesn't end there. The other product that you have can also help you to, have a perfect plan in place. So what I would say is that, yes, you can do that. Get in touch and let's have a conversation. You may not have the whole time to go through the step-by-step approach in getting that done. Kindly get in touch. We take it on from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen. All right. So now let's remember that if you have more questions, you can leave them with us on the comment section or visit the app, that's the Achieve app, and then we will attend to them and then answer them for you. Please also don't forget to get in touch with us via WhatsApp 050-541-0244 or 050-459-3935, and will definitely help you secure a better future with Petra. All right, so now please, a little bit to wrap up. Just remember that there's a need for every individual to plan, no matter what it is, no matter how much little or how much you earn, there's always a possibility to achieve more. So please do plan. Remember that retirement is at hand. Remember that emergencies are always at hand. They are unplanned for. They are not envisaged. So please do well to plan your finances. And if you have to consider your financial plan, you make sure you have a financial expert like some of us, Judy and then Steve from Petra, and they'll definitely be happy, super excited to assist you plan. Remember the goals you have, remember the time zone you have, and make sure that that planning goes on now. Also remember that there's also the need for you to take charge of your financial future, because you might think you're young now, but in a snap of the finger, you'd realize you're 60 and there's nothing to hold on to. Finally, I would want to ask you to contact Petra one more time. Contact us and we'll be glad to help you achieve your financial goals, okay? So the number is on the screen or was on the screen. Please make sure you take advantage of it. We are also on social media, Petra on social, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, what have you. Do make sure you follow us, like and share our content, and we will be excited to assist you. Thank you so much for staying with us throughout this session. It's been amazing. You've been great participants. Can we give them a virtual round of applause? Thank you so much. We were really, really happy to have you. My name is Kale Metil Tutu. I have been your moderator. All right, so Zoom audience, please, one more time, just before I leave, my producer just reminded me, please remember to complete the polls for us. We need your feedback. We sincerely need your feedback to be able to serve you better so you can achieve more with Petra. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you another time, hopefully soon. My name is Kali Metal Tutu, your moderator. Thank you, and remember to plan financially with Petra. It's bye from us. Bye.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they are the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Goals, dreams, aspirations.
We wake up and we are young. We have time, we say. Then, here comes the 20s and the 30s. We are married, baby number one arrives, and two, oh no, nothing saves those struggling hand to mouth. And then, one day we wake up and 60 is here. And nothing's been achieved.
Don't get caught in the cycle.